Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Toden, and if you have, thank you for coming back. Today I have a new video for you guys, and it is actually going to be a requested video. I'm finally getting to these. If you want to request videos, you can either leave a comment down below and I will try to make videos about it, or you can also message me on Instagram. I'll always leave the links to my socials down in the description below. Today's video is going to be talking about comparison and jealousy. I feel like these are two things that kind of go hand in hand because it just does. I'm going to be talking about my own personal take on it. I have kind of taken my time to think on it, think about the things that I do personally to help me with comparison, and some things that I feel like would also help you if you are going through this whole comparison thing, because yeah, it definitely happens. I feel like at the end of the day, we're human beings. It's either bound to happen somehow, or in my personal experience, or someone mentions it, like someone compares you to someone else and it makes you think, like, I guess you could think like really either in a good way, or really like, nah, that is like the furthest thing from me ever, period. So I'm going to be talking about those. So the first thing on the list is that to know that you're your own unique being and you have your own unique talents, you have your own strengths and weaknesses. I personally believe that everyone is fearfully and wonderfully made, and I know for myself that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, so I don't see any need for me to compare myself to someone else. I do have to say though that when people compare me to other people, it kind of bothers me a little bit, because I'm just like, nah, don't do that. Like, literally stop, please don't do it. Don't go out intentionally and seek comparing myself to other people, because I know that there's no point in doing that. They have a different set of parents, I have different set of parents, they have a different background than I do. Like, the whole entire thing is already different, and if it is similar, I feel like there are still differences between people that make us all unique and special, and there's really no point in comparing yourself to someone else. And obviously I really do recognize, trust me, I'm with you on this one, that it is easier said than done. But at the end of the day, I think we need to play more into our strengths and work more on our strengths than focus on our weaknesses, and then compare ourselves based on our weaknesses to someone else based on their strengths. Like, it's really not even fair to yourself to compare yourself like that. So for me, it's just realizing that I am a unique being and honing on my strengths and not focusing on my weaknesses. Working on my weaknesses, yes, but not feeling like I'm some kind of failure of a human being because I'm not like someone else. They have different set of advantages, privileges, backgrounds, financial stability. Like, they have different set of things that maybe I don't have, or maybe someone else doesn't have. And yeah, I don't see the point in comparing myself to other people just because we are different. And honestly, truly, I actually really believe that it would be so boring if we all looked the same or acted the same or had the same like backgrounds. Like, that would be so boring. It needs to be switched up, because that's what makes other people fun. And for me personally, I feel like differences is what makes me gravitate towards other people and want to know more about them and want to learn more about them. And I literally beat the sperm. I came out, and yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna do it. And truly, when other people compare me to someone else, especially, like, I feel like sometimes you don't like certain people, and then if someone compares you to that person, it's like, yeah, now it's really awkward. Yeah, it definitely gets awkward when it comes to things like that. I try my best to tune it out if someone is actively doing that, or I just tell them, like, you know what, there's no need for comparison. Like, we're literally two different people, and just keep it. Like, I honestly try to diffuse. Is it diffuse or diffuse? Diffuse. I think it's diffuser, right? Try to diffuse that situation ASAP, because it just doesn't sit well with me. I just feel like I will then start comparing myself intentionally because someone else has put it in my head. So yeah, don't put it in my head. I don't think about it. For me, out of sight is out of mind. If I'm not seeing someone that I'm comparing myself to, I'm not gonna do the comparison because it's not in my like vision. That's basically how I think about it, and that's how my brain processes it as well. The second thing under comparison is to do things for other people. Honestly, when you help other people out, I feel like you just realize that we're kind of all in this together. You realize that most people have the normal human fears and insecurities and anxieties that you have, you really realize there's no point in comparing yourself to other people, because everyone else is kind of putting on a social masks to survive. And when you actually get to know people on a very vulnerable level, you realize there's really no point for comparison, because everyone is really just trying to do their best. People are not even noticing the things about yourself that you're comparing yourself to them to. Most people really don't care about other people in that kind of state, because people are so focused on themselves and paying their own bills and either getting into school or trying to get ahead in life. Like, I just feel like people have, at least now, I think people are occupied with better things than to be comparing themselves to other people. I know in terms of like, sometimes when you're growing up at this stage, like I'm 24 now, and people around me are starting to get married, or I have people around me that have kids. And in that kind of way, I can see how some people would want to compare to those people who are starting to have a family or are starting to do this, that with their life. But it's like everybody has their own timing, their own track. It's not going to look like someone else's journey. Like, your journey is not going to look like someone else's journey, and there's literally, again, no point comparing yourself to someone else or comparing your journey to their journey. I think the most important thing is that if you are being authentic to yourself, you will be happier, like, honestly. And when you are happy, you don't do the comparison, because you know that comparison is literally the thief of joy. I feel like there's like so many Pinterest boards about saying comparison is the thief of joy, and it really is. I don't know if you guys have ever had like a good day and then you see something that's like triggering, because either maybe someone compared you to that person or something triggers comparison. It's like, okay, now my day's ruined because I just accidentally compared myself to someone else. It's not healthy to compare your journey to someone else. Helping people makes you realize that people have same anxieties, same insecurities, same fears about failure. It's like the human experience, honestly. I also feel like helping people takes the pressure off of yourself to be perfect or to have a perfect life, because then you're not focused on yourself so much, because you're actually helping out other people. You're not too self-obsessed or self-absorbed that you're not even getting to see the world outside of your own scope or your own lens. And this is something that I actually learned in school, where we would have dialogues, like a scene partner or scene work, and we would be working with someone. And you know, there's like people who always try to like look better than other people or act better than other people. And I remember one time my prof was telling us that like that should never be our goal, to like act more than someone else. Your goal should be to make your scene partner look good. So if you are striving to make your scene partner look good, and your scene partner is striving to make you look good, the whole entire scene is going to look good, because everything is going to be in unison and it would just flow seamlessly. And I started applying that to my life and to the way I view comparison, because it's like, if you are comparing yourself to someone, you're probably having negative thoughts towards them and just like thinking like that, because that's like how it is if you're comparing yourself. But instead of doing that, like, compliment the person. I've gone through the route of complimenting them. If I'm seeing myself wanting to compare myself to someone else, I would rather just compliment them, because it's like, hey, they look good or they're doing good, and they should know that they're doing good. And in that way, you're making someone else's day, or at least making them slightly happier. There's something about giving compliments that honestly makes the other person feel good, but also makes you feel good about yourself, because it's like you just did that out of the goodness of your heart, as opposed to comparing and then being jealous of them and then just having this like evil like vibe, right? Evil vibe. I don't know how else to say it, like bad energy. Yeah, I think the word is bad energy, right? That's how they call it these days, bad energy. Bad energy towards them. Helping people is one that I've really seen that has helped me to not compare myself to other people. I don't really do it, to be honest, but I see myself sometimes being triggered by certain people just because of things that have happened before. It's not like I'm just comparing myself to this random person. No, it's because there's probably some low-key history or some... Anyways, moving on. I've left that in 2020 whatever, and 2020 we're glowing, we're thriving, and we're not comparing ourselves to other people, period. Third thing I have under this list is that to stop critiquing yourself so hard. This is something that I personally do one day I will finally get over myself and stop critiquing myself so hard. But I do find me personally critiquing myself so hard about things, like even just like little things. Like I know I'm for sure hard on myself for whatever reason, but I feel like sometimes it comes from either the way that you've grown up, where your parents want you to be this perfectionist child and you've just embodied that since you were younger, which is just so exhausting. There's so much space for everybody to thrive. That's how I personally see it. And then if you're critiquing yourself, you are probably also comparing yourself to someone else, which is probably why the critique is happening. It's like, if they can do this, why can't I do this? And it's like, yeah, sure, but how is that even constructive? Like, it's really not constructive. It's not gonna get you anywhere. You're not gonna get progress the way you're supposed to get progress, because you're too busy comparing yourself to someone else as opposed to working on yourself and being the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. I also feel like critique comes from like other people, you know, also critiquing you in a way that's not constructive. And I feel like things like that, you just have to like block it out and just not listen to it, because if someone doesn't know you, you shouldn't have that much power enough to influence your thoughts or the way that you view yourself. And even if they know you, so what? People should not be like critiquing other people in a way that's not constructive. I personally don't like criticism that is not constructive. If you're gonna say something to me, I want it to be constructive so I can learn from it and so I can do better next time. Like, I don't want criticism that's just like, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this? If you're critiquing yourself too hard, please cool off on it. The world is already so hard as it is. It's hard being a human being. It's hard being this age too, because there's just so many things going on. So people are doing this, so people are doing that. You're still trying to find your path, but at the same time trying to build these connections and network and do all this stuff. Like, it definitely is hard. So cut yourself some slack. You're doing just fine. Stop critiquing yourself so hard. Nobody is probably gonna critique you as hard as you're gonna critique yourself, to be honest. Unless you have like a coach and you're trying to go for a certain goal or something like that, that's obviously a different ball game. So yeah, stop critiquing yourself so hard, and that will reduce jealousy, because if you're not critiquing yourself so hard, you're not going to be jealous of someone that you're comparing yourself to, because you are critiquing yourself so hard. Fourth thing on this list is to level up. I personally feel like this is something that helps a lot. This is the one that really works, because if you're leveling up and you're focused on your level up, I just know that I hate the word level up. It's just overused, and when something's overused, I feel like it loses its value in a way. So I don't know, just me. Again, this is just my personal take on it, but I do believe that leveling up, either that be like mentally or physically or financially or spiritually, any kind of level up will take your mind away from comparing yourself to someone else, because you actually are focusing on yourself. If you really are focusing on yourself enough, there's really no room to compare yourself to other people. I generally actually think that, because I feel like times when I've like accidentally compared myself to someone else, it's probably because I wasn't doing enough. If I'm doing enough, I don't have the energy to compare myself to another person, because I'm busy. And you know, as the Nigerian parents say, an idle man is the devil's workshop. So if you are working on yourself and you're really focused on doing that and helping other people, trust me, you're not going to have the time to be comparing yourself to other people or to be jealous of them, because you're so consumed in your own leveling up and helping other people. I feel like sometimes the thoughts still come in here and there, because we are human beings. Like, these thoughts are gonna come in, and sometimes I watch videos about things like this and people are like, and then it never happens to you ever again. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works as human beings. These thoughts are still gonna come in, they're still gonna pop up, but when they do come in, now you're equipped and you know what your strengths are, and you know the kind of person that you are, and you know that you're introspective. So you know these thoughts are just lies, and you're not going to focus on them, and you're going to try as much as possible to phase them out, or to just not listen to them or let them affect the way that you view yourself and the way you view yourself in life in general, period. Because I feel like sometimes when you compare yourself to other people, it actually causes insecurity, because you think that you're not good enough or you're not as good as that person, which is like such a lie. Like, who gets to even decide these things? I feel like sometimes parents do, because, you know, the way parents are, they'll just compare you. Even sometimes they compare you to your own siblings. Like, bruh, cool. I feel like comparing also kind of breeds secret like jealousy and hate towards someone who probably has no idea that you're even hating on them, because they're probably focused on their own level up, which is why you're jealous of them anyways. So I feel like being focused on your own level up and doing your own thing and trying to either collaborate with like-minded people and do things with them, and that would actually even boost your self-confidence and realize that you don't need to compare yourself to other people. I just feel like when you associate with people in general, you get to know a lot of things about yourself that you probably don't know about yourself, or that you know about yourself but you don't appreciate enough about yourself. That's something that I've learned for sure, like appreciating certain things about myself that I was just like, this is a throwaway, but it's not really a throwaway. It's actually such a good quality to have as a person. The fifth one is to choose people that choose you. I just feel like this one is such a simple one, because sometimes with comparison, people try so hard to be liked by a certain person, or to be liked by a certain group, or to be liked by a certain something, that you're constantly comparing yourself to that thing, and you're putting the measure of your own worth against something else or someone else. Like, honestly, I believe in God. I think we're all equal in the eyes of God. So I don't see, again, I see why people compare, and I see how those thoughts come in, because they come in for me too. But at the same time, I try my best to not focus on that, and to surround myself with people who are like-minded, the people who love me, and the people who are constantly choosing me and choosing to support me and be on my side, and to give me constructive criticism, and people who want to see me do better and to be better. So when you surround yourself around people that actually want you to succeed and want the best for you, again, you don't compare yourself to other people, because you already feel like you're being rooted for and you're being cheered on. If a person can get to a point where they have a really good sense of self, comparison is just, it's not there. If it's there, it's just very, very like minimal. And even if it's there, they have healthy ways to cope with the thoughts that are coming in. As women, I feel like this is something that we already have to deal with, because we're constantly being bombarded by what is deemed perfect and what is deemed desirable. And thankfully in 2020, people are starting to challenge that and pose questions and be like, can't there be a spectrum of what is considered desirable, and why does it have to be this one thing that is considered special and desirable and wanted and coveted? These are conversations that I personally want to be a part of, that I love talking about. I also feel like there's obviously an added to it, because I am a Black woman, I am a Black person, I'm a dark-skinned woman, and there's obviously that, you know, one more layer to it. I honestly feel like having confidence and not comparing yourself as a dark-skinned person, a dark-skinned girl, is so difficult, because of what we're fed in media and what we're told by people around us, whether that be family members who say things that are not very constructive, or that are just straight up not even helpful. Like, it just sounds like some colorist stuff that some people say sometimes, and it's like, why are you even gonna bring that up? Like, what is the purpose of that? Obviously, you know, as Black women, I feel like we're always being compared. You know, people are constantly stealing Black women's culture. Like, Black people's culture, period, is always being stolen. And when it is replicated on the neighbor, everybody's all of a sudden accepting it. But when it is on Black people, it is deemed ghetto and not good and threatening and scary. Like, all these aggressive words. I can't. We've had these conversations in group chats, and we've been talking about comparison and how there's always that additional thing where it's like, as a Black woman or as a Black person, you're comparing your nose to someone else because people are telling you that Black people have flat noses, or you're comparing your lips to someone else because like 10 years prior, or like maybe 20 years prior, lip injections weren't cool, and now every single person almost, it feels like, has a lip filler or has gotten a lip filler, or people want, you know, the big behind and small waist and the big boobs. And it's like, someone is gonna bring this up and they're gonna be like, this you? This you? But I just feel like, you know, you can admire someone but not necessarily like carry their whole entire personality and body and just be like copy, paste, and then what? Like it doesn't even look good. It does not look good. Yeah, that is pretty much my spiel on comparison. I just feel like in 2020, for us black girls, there's no reason for us to be comparing ourselves to anybody. There's different kinds of comparison. Either it be body comparison, or comparing yourself to someone financially and what they are financially, or maybe it is comparing yourself to someone in the way that their family is set up. It's like, I wish I had a. Don't do it. You don't know what people are really going through unless you're in it with them. And sometimes you even realize that your life is better. It's like, why did I even want someone else's life when my life was already good? I'll wait. Let me know what kind of videos you guys would love to see and message me clearly. I made this one because it was requested, so I will definitely be working on more videos, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your experiences about comparison. What are some of your ways that you deal with comparison and jealousy, or some ways that you found that you've dealt with comparison and jealousy that have actually helped you out to not compare yourself as much to people? If you were able to overcome comparing yourself to other people, what are some things that you've personally used that have helped you overcome that? I would absolutely love to hear about it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.